Well, g'day folks. One of the most challenging things for fishers to do, besides choosing whether it's a soft plastic, hard body, is their sinker too heavy, is it too light, is choosing your rod and reel for fishing. And I do know that I come across that on social media a lot. People are always asking, if I've got 150 bucks in the bank, which reel should I go for, or whatever it might be. So today I'm going to take you guys on my journey of choosing my rod and reels. But we're going to particularly focus on selecting a reel because I know it can get super complicated. There's lots of marketing out there, there's hype, there's trends, there's YouTube influencers. It can get completely confusing, and even for me that's been fishing for as long as I have. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you. But let me tell you first that I'm not a sponsored angler. So the good thing about that is you're going to get total transparency, honesty. I'm not influenced by any businesses or brands. This is 100% my choice. It's where I'm going to spend my hard-earned dollars. So you'll be coming along on the journey with me while I'm trying to figure out what reels to go for with my budget. So let's touch on a couple of important things that you should look at while you're making that crucial decision. Number one is, how much money do you have to spend? How much cash is in the bank? How much are you willing to budget? Be realistic. Can I afford top of the range reels? I can't. Do I want to go rock bottom? No. I need reels that are going to be reliable. Now I'm looking at about the $300 to $500 price point per reel. I'm going to be getting a few of them, but I've saved hard for this one, so I think I deserve it. Now you have two categories. You have consumer and prosumer. So consumer is your bottom end stuff, right up to your mids. Your prosumer is your top end, your pricey stuff, but that can also mix into the mids as well. So there's a little bit of a crossover in the middle. I'm sort of going a little bit over mid. So if 10 was the highest and 1 was the lowest, I'm going to go about 7. So I reckon 7's a safe bet. They're not too expensive and they're pretty reliable reels too. So you do get some quality in there. But that is my number one priority when I'm making this decision. So what process did I go through? One, as I said, I know my budget. Number two, research. So on the first night of research, I was up to about 2:30 in the morning. I was doing lots of Googling, I was checking out fishing forums, I was checking out comparison videos on YouTube between some of the big brands as well as other brands. I needed some idea of where to start, and my priority at the end of the day is quality. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it's what's on the inside that counts in this case. I just want to go in raw, like every brand is equal, and do my research to find out which one I should get. So I'm not going to be influenced by what trends are going on, what YouTube influencers are using. You can throw all that out the window, forget marketing and advertising. I really wanted to look into the reels, on the inside of these reels, and find out more about them to help me make that crucial choice. So the next important step after doing a bit of that online research and getting an idea of what's out there and how reliable things are and aren't, even chatting with people that have used these reels before, is having a chat to what I refer to as a reel mechanic. Now, a reel mechanic is like your car mechanic. So they work on the engines, they can pull them apart and put them back together almost with their eyes closed. They know the internals, the parts that are good and the things that aren't so good about them, because they work on these things year after year and they know what these are made of. So I chatted with 3 reel mechanics. These guys have got an intimate knowledge of the internals. I didn't care so much about the externals. I just wanted to know what was on the inside, how rust-proof they are, how reliable the washers are, the cogs and gears. I needed to know it all, and I certainly asked all those questions, and I found the responses quite interesting. In fact, what you think is good out there doesn't always necessarily mean it's that good. So the next step is to head into a tackle store. Now, I chose to see the boys at Mark Berg's Addict Tackle down in Tweed Heads. They're always really helpful guys. So let's head in store and see the boys. Now, my choice might help you make better choices when it comes to selecting your new reel in 2024 or even beyond, because the results, like I said, took me by surprise. But I tell you what, I'm really confident in this one. So let's go. Well, it's been a couple of sleepless nights, but I'm finally here down at Mark Berg's Addict Tackle in Tweed Heads. But before we check out the reels, we're going to go in and check out the braid lines, because there's heaps and heaps of choices, and I'm going to take you through why I made those particular choices and went with the ones that I have gone with. So let's go on in and check it out. So before I pick up the reels, one of the other things I need to look at is what braid I'm going to put on these reels. So I need my braid purpose for a couple of different things. One, I need to be able to cast a mile, so I need it really, really smooth. And the other, I need heaps of abrasion resistance. So I'm fishing around jetties, rocks, any risky areas where you can get busted off by big fish. So these are the braids that I'm choosing. So first, for the casting, so you get heaps of casting distance, is your 8-strand Tasline. I've used this before. I know guys speak really highly of it. One of the advantages of Tasline, besides just how smooth it is and how far you can cast with it, is your breaking strain. So it says 20 here, but I can guarantee it's going to be a lot higher than that. So the second is higher abrasion resistance. So I've used this before. It's Suffix 832. So it's super high abrasion resistance. I've had some big jacks on this. It's pulled me through all lots and it hasn't popped. Some of your thinner lines will break a lot easier, but this is the stuff you want if you're fishing areas that are really high risk. Anyway, hopefully that helps you with making a decision on the 2 types of braid you want. Of course, we can go deeper, but I just want to keep it simple. And the prices of these, they're a little bit higher, but really try not to compromise on your terminal tackle. Anyway, let's go over and check out my new reels. I'm super excited about this. Hopefully it's going to help you guys to make better choices. I've done the research for you. Obviously you can go your own way. If you've got any suggestions, put them down in the comments on this post. I'm sure there's plenty of fishers out there with varying opinions, and that's absolutely fine, because what works for me may not necessarily work for you. Do your research, take all the tips I've given you, and it'll make that process a whole lot easier.
Hello mate, there you go.
Good, I'm
How's
excited. Yeah, good. I've been waiting for this.
Okay, well, you've asked me about some reels, and I can see you're a Shimano fan.
Well, I've done a lot of research, and this is something that I'm really solid on this decision.
Yep.
Obviously, like, there's so much variety out there, it's super confusing. I reckon I've made the right decision. These boys reckon I have, so I'm happy with that.
I reckon you've made the right decision too. I mean, you've picked a great range of reels, you know, anywhere from your small estuary stuff all the way to your inshore and offshore stuff. So,
yep, perfect.
Yeah, most definitely made the right decision.
Yep, awesome.
I see you've also went with picking some good braid,
yep.
Aussie made Tasline.
Yep, love Tasline.
Thanks Frank.
Yeah, thanks Frank.
832, which is the most abrasion resistant lines on the market.
Yep.
So, I know you've done your research on your reels.
Yep.
Is there anything else you wanted to know?
Why have I chosen these? Maybe we can have a chat with the guy in the know.
Most definitely. What I'll do is I can get Jace out here. So Jason runs a business called Reel Issues. Jason is like a reel engineer. That's what I like to call him, because he's very particular on his reels.
Yep.
So if anyone knows the inside of a reel, it's definitely Jason. And oh, funny enough, he's just walking up the stairs. Hey Jace, how you going?
Hello everybody. What are we doing?
So Andy's done his research, loves his Shimano gear. He's not being biased, he's not sponsored or anything like that, but he's done his research and definitely decided on going Shimano.
Right.
And I think we had a couple of technical questions on what type of reels and so forth. Jason is a reel engineer.
Yep.
Nobody knows reels like Jason does. he's the man for you if you need to know anything.
Yeah, and I did pick Jace's brain, to be fair, didn't I?
Certainly did.
There was the 20 questions, guys, so maybe just for the guys at home, obviously I'm privy to that information that I had in a conversation with Jace, some of the real technology that's coming with the newer reels and what really stands out and why I chose these particular reels.
You don't have to spend $1 million to get the reel that you do want. A little bit of fine research, ask the question, don't be afraid to ask a million questions. General tackle shops, nice blokes will be happy to answer your question. Few reels that he started to settle for are ones over the years that I've dealt with longevity. People got to spend a certain amount of coin, and reels that are going to last them for what they're doing. So we do have a couple of Shimanos here that are doing quite good. As much as I fix reels, I have no affiliation with Shimano. I'm sort of a reel tart, so I'll fix everything from electrics to fly reels, downriggers, the whole kit and caboodle. Long and the short of it, Saragosas have been around for quite a long time. There was a bit that went into these reels in the beginning. First overall design that the Japanese did, they embarrassed themselves competing with Surtates and things like that, and your pens and whatnot. So they pulled the reels all back off the shelf and re-engineered them. In doing that, I feel as an engineer they have over-engineered them for the bang for buck that you pay for them. So they're a cracking bit of gear. If you want to have a reel for 10 years, you don't get to service it too much and all that sort of stuff. That's something that will suffice you for the money that you spend. Now, Andy could have settled for a Saragosa in that as well, but he wanted to do one little step up for his comparisons, and he went to the new saltwater Stradic. So still a nice finesse reel, but SW side for the saltwater side, heavy duty and things like that. Bang for buck, same deal. I can get bearings from Repco on a Sunday. Don't do that, get genuine Jap spec bearings if you do, but if you need to get out of trouble, you can get bearings nice and easy, just like an old Holden and things like that. Water protrusion, IPF, drag systems are just a cracker. Things that go into these have been refined from the older versions, so you won't have any issues with the roller bearings and things like that anymore. They've all been sorted through. Your finesse stuff, now a lot of this stuff from your Sedonas and things like that, right from your bottom end series, they do have stellar infinite drive in them now, so you will get that nice, beautiful, smooth feel that you get in that high-end reel. Still great water protrusion in that. These are a cracking little reel. I class them as like a mini Saragosa. Same deal, water protrusion, jet skis. I've just seen cracking report on these, they've been great. And then from the Stradic sort of thing, we go straight to the Mirabelle. So I wouldn't say it's a cheap, well, it is cheaper, but it does have the same infinite drive like the rest of them for that sort of $150 mark, $190 mark. Infinite drive, carbon drag washers from 1000s right through, and that's the same with all the series of the Shimano's reels now. No more felt drag on this small stuff. So carbon, no more upgrades, or a quality carbon drag washer. So water protrusion, all that sort of stuff. His little bass, I think he's got a cracking setup for what he wants to do.
There you go, guys. Well, hopefully that's made the whole process of choosing your reel 1,000 times easier. That includes your braid lines as well. Of course, if you want to see the guys, come down to Attic Tackle in Tweed Heads. They're super helpful, as you can see. And where can we see Jace?
So Jace runs a business called Real Issues, actually in the store upstairs, but he also does a few days a week in the shop as well. Look him up on Facebook and Instagram, Real Issues. Yeah, any real issues, look up Real Issues.
And if you've got any other comments or suggestions just to help everyone out with selecting their reel, or if you've got any preferences on lines or whatever it might be, drop them in the comments. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit the sub as well. We'll see you next time, CoastfishTV.